Ooh, guys, technology is moving absolutely incredible speeds. My name is Brent Bowers. I'm your landman, and today I've got a very special guest on the podcast. His name is Kevin Brenner. He was a former host of the ADPI podcast, Active Duty Passive Income podcast, and I've worked with a lot of those listeners and taught them land. I love Kevin because he's always on the cutting edge of everything. Guys, AI, artificial intelligence, this is absolutely exploding wholesaling businesses, and speed to lead, seconds, not minutes. Guys, we got to get back to these leads as quick as possible. He's going to share an example today how one of his clients made over $30,000 on a lead that was captured and put on his calendar to where this wholesaler makes a call the next morning and makes $30,000 from a lead that got hit up and talked to over the phone with AI, artificial intelligence, after midnight. Who's answering their phone at midnight? That's crazy. Some of you guys might be doing that because you're just getting started. But after a year or two in this business, you're not gonna be taking calls at midnight, want to keep your sanity. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, guys, I got my good buddy, Kevin Brenner, the former host of the Active Duty Passive Income podcast. No longer a host on there, but doing incredible things, helping wholesalers just like you and I to automate our businesses, delegate things, less work. I'm always down for less work. That's the perfect scenario for me. What you up to, man? Tell Rhino Nation a little bit about yourself. We want to keep it super short. We try and keep this with a car ride, but yeah, I know there's a lot, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, car ride edition, 10-year Air Force vet, turned real estate investor, was involved with the Active Duty Passive Income community for a long time, helped build that to what it is today, the largest military real estate investing education platform in the world. And from there, kind of branched out to really get on this AI train and, help in my own business, right? So I started after a stint in Europe. My wife and I moved to Europe for a bit. We came back. We chose to live in Charlotte to settle down. We started flipping houses. And at the time, I was building AI tools within kind of the ADPI community and, for lead generation, lead qualification, and closing, and all of these things. And they were all like SMS and DM bots and all of these things. And I was like, dang, man, I wonder if I could do this to qualify leads for house flips. Because I'm like you and your audience, Brent, and I was using PPL, PPC and all of this.
Is that pay per lead and pay per click?
Yeah, exactly. The Google AdWords and all. So leads were coming in, but if I wasn't glued to my phone 24/7, then I might miss one. And obviously speed to lead is a huge thing. The quicker you get in touch with that person who has the most intent right then to learn about how to get a cash offer on their house or land or whatever, you're going to want to talk to that person, right? So I started building these AI solutions and I was like, dang, this really works. I started qualifying leads. They were booking appointments right on my calendar. And then I was going and putting things under contract. So for me, I was just kind of naive and I was like, okay, I guess this is just what house flippers are doing. They're just using AI to do all this stuff. So I started going around to these Charlotte meetups, these local RIAs. I'm sure you tell your audience to go to the local RIAs just to hang out and meet other people who are smarter than you. And I started telling them, yeah, I'm doing this. I got this AI thing. And their minds were blown, Brent. So then I was like, this could be an opportunity. So that's the car ride short version into what we're doing.
Dinosaur age, I've been resisting this AI for a while. I know I need to adapt to it or someone's going to take me out of business, but I need to learn this. I'll be the first to say, it's we're doing some of it, but I can barely use Facebook.
You're doing great with Facebook. You got the whole Landshark community. What you talking about?
Trust me, I surround myself with really smart people, by the way. The best advice I ever heard, my Air Force story. I tried to join the Air Force first and they wouldn't allow me, so I went next door to the Army because they take anybody. That's why I was in the Army. But my dad's old boss, this guy, I looked up to him, George Sweat, and he's still around. I think this guy's a genius. I heard my dad say, this is what George said one time, was surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. And this guy truly was a business owner. You never saw him doing any of the work, but he was the owner. I really looked up to that. So surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. That simple. All right, well, how the heck can we help some of these listeners either do their first deal or more deals? How can we plug this AI into our business?
So really, when you're thinking about AI, especially I'll be real with you, it's very buzzwordy right now. It's oh, AI. Understanding really what it is is like step one to all of this. So when your listeners or you, Brent, even hear like the words or the letters AI put together in artificial intelligence, most of the time people are talking about what we like to call large language models. So that's like your ChatGPT, your Claudes, your Geminis, your Perplexities, whatever. Those are all large language models. And you can think of those, your listeners can think of those as like, that's the thing that processes the request of whatever you're asking it to do. So like, it's almost like the brain, right? Like you tell your brain to raise your left hand and the brain goes, okay, let's raise my left hand. That's the processing piece, right? So what we're doing at Property Bots is we are kind of using the special forces technique of inserting ourselves into solve one very specific problem. And that problem for a lot of our clients right now are wholesalers and land flippers and other folks. It's that speed to lead that I mentioned. Because, for your listeners, as you scale up this business and you start doing 1, 2, 3, maybe 10 deals a month, and you really get there, what scales with you is your marketing efforts. And it's kind of like exponential. Like in the beginning, you'll start like spending like $2,000 a month on marketing, and you'll get like, okay, I got a fair amount of leads this month, and then you'll be able to handle it. But then you'll make that jump to like $4,000 a month, and your leads might triple. And then you're like, oh crap, what do I do? Because again, if you're not contacting these leads instantaneously, then someone else will. Because don't get it twisted. When these leads are going in and saying like, I need to sell my house fast, or I need to sell my land fast, they're filling out multiple forms, and someone's going to get in touch with them, and someone who is using AI is going to get in touch with them instantaneously. So really what we do is we build custom AI solutions for your high-level land flippers and wholesalers and stuff like that to instantly reach out via voice. So it'll call them and it will text them, and it will ask specific questions, like the same qualifying questions that you would want to ask, like, hey, why are you selling your land now? When do you want to sell your land? Are there any special features on the land that we should know about? What's the parcel ID so your underwriting team can look it up? Like whatever you ask, we can all customize that, get that information, and then book an appointment on the phone with one of your acquisitions folks or you or whoever. It books the appointment dynamically. So then your calendar, instead of you prospecting and trying to chase down and generate these leads, it turns into a system that puts leads on your calendar for you, just like that. And it's all doing it dynamically.
Let's do a demo. I know you're ready. Like, let's dial that number. Okay, you're running a PPC or pay-per-click, and that was my biggest thing. I don't want to take phone calls, and I lose deals that way because it's like, I just don't want to get on the phone.
Okay, so let me do this. I'm gonna press a button here, and it's going to call me, and then I gotta put it on speakerphone. So let's see what happens. Okay, it's calling. Let me just hook this up on speakerphone real quick.
Chris, your AI voice assistant from Property Bots. How are you doing today?
Hey, Chris, I'm on a podcast right now with Brent Bowers and the Land Sharks. I've been hyping you up pretty hard right now, so I hope you don't let me down.
Wow, no pressure, right? Thanks for the hype. Let's make this podcast moment legendary. Want to run a quick live demo and show Brent and the Land Sharks what I can do?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Let's dive in. First, can you share your first and last name?
Yeah.
Let's make this demo personal and unforgettable.
Yeah, it's Kevin Brenner.
Thanks, Kevin. Now, what's the name of your business? Let's make sure I'm hyping the right brand here.
It's propertybots.ai.
Got it, propertybots.ai. Love it. Now, in a few words, what product or service does propertybots.ai provide to your clients?
We help wholesalers and land flippers integrate AI solutions into their sales funnels.
Perfect. Propertybots.ai helps wholesalers and land flippers supercharge their sales funnels with AI. Now, what's your role or title at Propertybots.ai? Let me guess, Chief Hype Officer?
Yeah, I'm the hype officer. I'm also like the master of AI.
Love it, Chief Hype Officer and Master of AI. You wear many hats, Kevin. Now, what's one qualifying question you'd ask a lead interested in Propertybots.ai?
We'll cut it off here. But the idea of that is, for sake of time, because I don't want to, waste all the time here. But the idea is that's what it's going to do is it's going to ask 3 qualifying questions. Then it would run a demo, and then it would try to get whoever's calling to book a call on my calendar to talk about solutions and stuff like that. But obviously, you can apply this, and we're doing it for tons of clients right now. You can apply it to wholesaling and land flipping, and everything is customizable. But yeah, that's a very base model kind of voice AI solution that's out there, and you could put it right into your business.
I want to play the devil's advocate here for a second. So I get a lot of older people. There's a reason why I have a fax number on my land offer letter, because I deal in 60 plus, a lot of people 60 years and older are selling me land. Now, when I was buying houses, there was a little bit younger clientele. How are people actually talking to this thing and getting on doing an appointment? you know, or are they hanging up? I'm sure not everyone's going to talk to this AI bot or whatever you call it.
That's a great question. So it's really, really interesting. The data has shown that pretty much if you're 50 or older, you can't tell the difference. If you're 30 to 50, you can tell the difference. It might bother you. It might not bother you. If you're less than 30, you don't care. You know, thinking about that and thinking about like, oh, okay, obviously this is where we're going, right? We have tons of case studies and people, you know, in these voice AI solutions that we've, you know, put out there where, you know, there's one story, a guy calls in. I love this one. This is for a client who's in Northern California. So these are like, these deals are expensive, right? Northern California, right? And the voice AI, the guy calls it past midnight, 12:35 in the morning, calls in and the thing goes and takes the call. And he's an old guy, takes the call, does everything, gets the questions, books the appointment for the next morning, the in-person property assessment, because this guy's a wholesaler. And the client locks the contract up the next morning. And it was like worth 30 grand to him. He would have never answered that call because it came in past midnight.
Those are the funny leads we get, the PPC ones. Those are like, is this person drunk or something? But, you know, this is not a 9-to-5 business. Like a lot of wholesalers and realtors and like, man, I'm working when everyone else is sleeping and playing. But you got to make sacrifices for a little while. But yeah, this is some of the best deals that we got were at inconvenient times. They came in. A lot of times they're like on Saturdays and Sundays. But you're right. If your roof is leaking, you're going to, and I've said this many times, like if your roof is leaking, you're going to call a roofer. Even if you get a hold of a roofing company that has like an answering service and they're not even the right people to talk, or they're not even the part of the company, they're just an answering service, you'll probably stop right there because you have talked to the answering service and hopefully they book an appointment and come out first thing Monday morning. But that's what you need, as certainty, like, okay, I found the right company. I talked to someone. I'm calm, cool, and collective until Monday because my roof's leaking. I know it's going to get fixed. Same thing with selling your property or your house or your land. I always say seconds, not minutes. Speed the lead, because there might be someone out there more hungry than you. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, the competition, they're too big. The bigger, the better, if you ask me, because they have leakages. They're willing to spend 40 grand a month and not get back to a lead until Monday morning. If you're that guy that gets back to him Saturday afternoon, then...
Or if you're the guy who has the AI go and do it instantaneously, book an appointment on your calendar. Like, you know, to be frank, my clients, Brent, they're all kind of doing 2 million plus in profit every year. Like they're bigger clients, mainly because they can afford this kind of service and stuff like that. But also, they also have marketing. Like they're spending 100 grand, 200 grand a year in marketing to go and generate these inbound leads. Like one of the big questions I get is like, well, can your AI do outbound and lead gen? And if you're familiar with Telephone Consumer Protection Act, you would know that that is wildly illegal. Like, don't do that. If you guys are cold calling right now, you are breaking the law. Please don't do that. And I know it's like, well, everyone else is doing it and all that stuff. And then I just think about what my dad said growing up. Oh, everyone's jumping off a bridge. You jump off a bridge.
That's why I chose land. Like, no one was talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, there's other ways to do inbound leads. And, you know, PPC is a great way, pay-per-click, Google AdWords, stuff like that. But it's probably a conversation for another podcast.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is incredible. And you made me think of something. But yeah, the instantaneously, that's huge because we all have heard of a little company called Amazon, and it's nuts. Like, you can go on and order something, depending on what it is, you can have it the next day. Kid you not, man. I went online, and this was not on Amazon. I don't remember the name of the company, actually. It was about men's apparel, but I needed new underwear, basically. My wife's been busy, so I ran out of underwear. So I was like, I'm gonna go wash my clothes because I'm out of underwear. And I was like, screw that. I did wash the clothes. I put it in the wash machine, but like, I shouldn't run out of underwear. So I went online at 8 o'clock. This was like 2 nights ago. Ordered the underwear, and I saw the packages come on the front porch, and I never open them because they're not for me usually. They're for my wife or the kids. So my wife's like, hey, here's your underwear. And I was like, literally the next day I had them, not 24 hours, but the next day. Now I'm spoiled. Anything I order, I think it should be here like the next day, not 24 hours. This is like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So what's that, 20 hours later, I get this package of underwear, and I'm just like, this is how the world is now.
Were they clean?
Yeah, they were wrapped up in a package. They are clean underwear. What scares me is like, there was a white pair in there, so I might give those away. but I'm giving people terrible visions here. But no, it's like we need instantaneous results these days.
I mean, it's the same thing with Starbucks. It's the same thing with any big corporation. If you're familiar with like Alex Hormozy and his kind of like $100 million offer, there's elements to like the perfect offer. And one of those elements is like perceived level of difficulty, like how difficult is going to be the client, is it going to be for the person buying your product or service or whatever to actually go through with it, and then how quickly can you deliver it? Like what's the perceived level of difficulty and how quickly can it be delivered? And those are huge elements that you can take down and when you're creating an offer. So that's why if you're seeing any offer on Instagram or anywhere, it's always like, you can do this now, fast, blah, 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 you know, quick, all these, you know, because they're getting after that, like, hey, you can do this easily. Here's the value you can get. Here's the perceived level of difficulty. Like, we're going to do everything for you. And it's going to be like an on-off switch instantaneous.
Path of least resistance. It's like whenever someone's ready to buy a piece of land from me, you better be able to take that payment over the internet. Believe it or not, a lot of people go on and buy land on my website and it's usually after midnight. It's weird. And you got to make it easy. When you're on the phone with them, how would you like to pay? You know, via credit card, PayPal, Venmo, ACH. We'll send you an invoice. Like, you got to make it easy to collect their money as well. Rhino Nation, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Kevin, how can people figure out more about this AI, learn about it, like learn more about what you're doing, how to get in touch?
Yeah, man, we might have to do a part 2 of this because we didn't even talk about the text AI. We just did the voice AI, but the text AI is wild too because that's reaching out to you via text.
Share how to reach you and then take a minute to share about that too.
Really, if you just want to find out more, you just go to our website. It's super easy. It's www.propertybots.ai. And right on the website, you can demo everything. You can see everything live in action. You can demo the text. You can demo the voice that we just kind of ran right now, kind of a more cleaned up version of that. And yeah, you can just kind of get after it and play around with it and ask it to do silly things and just test it. Like, I have people test this thing every single day and they ask the weirdest questions.
Yeah, I had some fun with it too. I was telling you before we hit the record button, I was trying to throw it for a loop and it was pretty funny.
Yeah, so I try to code it to be kind of like funny and kind of humorous and all of these things. But ultimately, like this technology, I think the biggest thing I could foot stomp here for your audience is this technology is not going anywhere. It's only going to get more prevalent in everything that we do. And, you know, for those who really understand it and integrate it into their business operations now, you're going to have a massive competitive advantage. I don't want to sound like over the top, but like truly a massive competitive advantage because Brent, you know this, real estate investors are extremely slow to adopt technology and land. And I'm not poking fun at you, but like land flippers, even slower. It's just because the sales cycle is slower. So there's less iteration where like at Amazon, the sales cycle is very fast as we discussed with the underwear. So like it's going bang, bang, bang. So they're just getting constant iteration, constant data, and they're able to integrate solutions much quicker. So just learn about AI. It's like the most valuable skill you can possibly learn.
Yeah, man. And you're right. I'm guilty of it as well. Like people tell me about this new softwares every day and I'm like, well, what I'm doing is working. Like it's working very well and I'm pretty happy about it. AKA, I'm like, my buddy tells me, Daniel Watts, he's told me multiple times, he's like, you've gotten too comfortable. You're right. You know, when we were hungry, I'd be that guy up till midnight trying to figure this stuff out. So good stuff, man. Rhino Nation, stay in action mode. I want you to reach out if you're interested in AI or reach out to me. Let's talk about your real estate investing goals. Maybe you're trying to do your first deal. Maybe you're in the military. Can't help you if you're in the Air Force, but that's not. Maybe you're trying to make an extra $2,000, $3,000 a month to cover private school for your kids. Then like you can do that with land investing. Like we don't want to replace your job for another one. We want to replace it with a business that serves you and your family and eventually others. You know, thanks for jumping on, Kevin, like because, you know, we want automations and processes. And you're right, business is a system. You figure out what makes you money and you just repeat it. Like you don't have to go out there and get all complex. But we're trying to make my business less complex. And I had like 4 calendars and 4 emails. My office manager was like, why do you have all these? I was like, I don't know. Like, can we eliminate it? Just use one? Little things like that. So guys, head on over to wholesalinginc.com/land to schedule that call. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And until next time, God bless. Rhino Nation. Catch you later.